George Whitley. I'm the miller at Grist Mill over in Westport, Massachusetts. And I'm also sort of the windmiller in residence here at Prescott Farm. And I want to tell you a little bit about the Sherman Grist Mill here in Portsmouth. The Sherman Grist Mill was built in 1812 in Warren, Rhode Island for a distillery. It operated there a number of years, and we think right before the Civil War it was moved to Fall River, where it operated there until the 1880s. It was then yet moved again to Portsmouth, and this is its third home in Portsmouth. This mill has been moved 4 times. Massive undertaking. So it was built for a distillery and typically ground wheat or rye. It's what we call a smock mill. Smock refers to the style of mill, and it resembled mock dress from the colonial era. At the top of the mill, the round area is called the bonnet, and the bonnet resembles a woman's head bonnet from that period also. The top of the mill can turn, so we're going to talk a little bit about how you would operate one of these mills. So typically you'd have your miller, that'd be me, I'd have an assistant or two, and I really want you to think about sailing a boat. Operating a windmill is a lot like sailing a boat. So the first thing you have to do is make sure that the mill is turned so it's out of the wind. You'd undo these ropes, have your assistants hang on to it. You bring one of the blades down, and then someone's going to climb up that lattice work, attach sailcloth to it, and let it drop and attach it. And you'll do one blade at a time. You'll get that blade, bring it up, get the next one, do the next one. You get to the third one, and you can't stop at the third one because the phrase 3 sheets to the wind comes to mind, and that comes from windmilling. If you operate a mill with only 3 sails, it's horribly unstable, and the mill will do what someone who is 3 sheets to the wind will do. So you get your 4th sheet up, and you're then almost ready for milling. You may have to turn the mill, and that's done by ropes on the back, where you pull on a pulley on the back side and the entire top of the mill will turn. You'll go into the wind or out of the wind, and you want to catch it where typically you had afternoon breezes here coming in. You had to keep an eye out for squalls, but you wanted a nice steady wind. 15 miles an hour was great for operating a mill like this. You get it set and you'd let your blades turn, but essentially once you had the blades turning, you were ready to grind some corn or wheat or rye. We didn't have the Weather Channel 200 years ago, so the miller had to be able to read the wind and know the prevailing patterns. The right gust came up, you could lift the top of the bonnet off the track or have it walking away on it. It was not unknown to have windmill accidents. So here we are inside the Sherman Grist Mill, and this is one of the most unusual windmills ever built. In fact, it may be the only one built this way. If you look in the middle, you're going to see a center shaft, your wind shaft coming down, and there's 2 sets of gears, one on either side, and they point up to the stones on either side. This mill has 2 sets of working millstones, and I've never seen a windmill that has had more than one. Beauty of this is that you could run one or both sets of stones. So if you had wind issues and you had a big order to get out, you might grind both at the same time and take advantage of the wind. Or you have one under repair being sharpened, you're not out of business. You still have a set of stones you can work with. Or you're grinding wheat on one and corn on the other, or you've got 2 different people you're grinding for. You have 2 separate operations. So you get a lot of flexibility with this that other windmills just didn't have. Now, it could all be controlled from here, from a milling standpoint. When you're grinding with this set of stones here, all your corn will come out the grain chute here from the set of stones above. All right, now we're here for the heart of the business, is milling. And as you can see, we have 2 sets of millstones. We have one that's assembled, and this would be how it was running without all the hardware on it. This is disassembled, so we can show what a dress pattern looks like, and we can talk about how you dress millstones. I'm going to go to this one first. There's a trap door in the floor over here and one above, and a pulley up above, and you'd have your assistant or yourself haul all the corn you're going to grind to the third floor. From there, your assistant will put it in a smaller version of this hopper and empty the bags into here and keep this hopper full. So the corn goes in the hopper. And the way this works in milling is you have a feed shoe or the shoe, and the shoe sits here. And we have a lovely lady here called the damsel, or mademoiselle, or chatterer, and the damsel runs everything. The damsel fits in the top of the running stone and comes up in here, and as the stone turns, the damsel turns. The damsel is squared off, and with this rope, it hits the shoe, and it makes a clacking sound. Every shoe and damsel has their own song. You'll hear it click, 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 clack, clack, clack. The damsel is singing, everything is fine. If it's not singing the right song or the pitch has changed, it means you might be running out of corn or there are other issues. So the corn will drop out of the shoe and into the eye of the stone, and I'm going to jump over here. And here's where you have the eye of the stone, with your shoe that would fit above shaking corn into it. The stone is turning, and if you pull the stones apart, what you'll see on the bottom stone is whole corn kernels packed around the middle, and then as it gets out, you've got cracked corn, coarse meal, finer meal, flouring meal, out to what we call the flouring edge. And if you didn't have the housing around it, it would just go everywhere. So we have a housing around it to trap the meal, but you have to spin it and get it to the chute, the grain chute down below to the first floor. So that's the operation of the millstones themselves. They all work in this fashion, if you have, horizontal stones. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour here. I'm grateful to the Newport Restoration Foundation for allowing me to come here and be part of this, because it's endlessly fascinating. Again, I'm the miller at Grist Mill. We are the grinders of true Johnny Cake meal using the original corn. This is 8-row Rhode Island white cap flint corn. I'm fortunate enough to be the world's largest grinder of this corn. You can always visit us at Grist Mill on Facebook. And when we're open again to the public, please come down. I'd love to show it off. Maybe you can help me grind some corn.
Hi there, my name is John Spillane and I'm the Director of Operations here at FabNewport. FabNewport is a makerspace located in the north end of Newport, and we offer classes and workshops to the community, both to youth and to adults. We have sewing machines, a laser cutter, 3D printers, vinyl cutters, and a lot more. Today I'll be talking mainly about wind turbines, but I want to explain the difference between a wind turbine and a windmill. So a windmill captures the energy from the wind and turns that energy into mechanical energy to either grind flour or corn or to pump water. While on the other hand, a wind turbine converts that wind energy into electricity. So to help me explain how a wind turbine works, I have a small model wind turbine here. The parts include the blades, the shaft, the gears, and the generator. So when wind blows at the wind turbine, the blades will spin, which spins the shaft, then the gears, and then finally that movement is converted to electricity in the generator. So I've plugged in a fan to help me demonstrate how this wind turbine works. So the fan is blowing wind at the blades of the wind turbine, which turns the shaft that goes through the gearbox and down to this mini motor we have here that's acting as a generator and converting that motion into electricity. And then I have some wires set up here from the wind turbine that go to this voltmeter. And what a voltmeter is a tool to measure electricity output. So we can see here that our model wind turbine is producing a small amount of electricity. From the generator, the power is then transferred to a transformer and then onto the power grid. In Rhode Island, one onshore turbine can produce enough power to power about 440 homes annually, while offshore turbines, such as those off the coast of Block Island, can power about 4,000 homes annually. Currently, only about 0.5% of Rhode Island's energy needs are being met by wind energy. FabNewport is currently closed due to the pandemic, but I invite you to log on to our website at fabnewport.org and click on our prompt of the week. There you can find weekly inspiration on how to get creative while stuck at home. And to stay connected with us, you can share what you've made by tagging us on Instagram or Facebook and including our hashtags of the week for a chance to win a $25 gift card. Winners will be announced at 6 p.m. on Thursdays. We look forward to seeing what you make.